So Massie today posted this, and I thought this was hilarious because he is not, this is not as smart of a post as he thinks it is. This is not the dunk. So Thomas Massie, he knows his constant criticism that comes against him is, dude, you have not said anything about the Epstein files before Trump came back. You were silent on it. And why push for so hard for it now? You know, when it's only being used to try and hurt the Trump administration. And it has to some effect, but it hasn't because there's anything real in there against the Trump administration. The only reason the Epstein files have hurt the Trump administration is because the belief of the lies, the narratives being spun of this cover up. But that's not going to last, because what did I show you guys last night? Only 2% of people care or put it at a high percent of an important issue to them for their vote. 2% of people. And so as this keeps spilling out, as more and more information comes out, it will backfire on them. Trump and them are playing the long game, which is one of the reasons it's good it came out early enough before the midterms, because we were going to go through cycles. When psyops start, they're at their most effective. But it's over time as the truth comes out that it blows back. And we're about to hit that turning point. It's coming. It's getting here close. But Massie is in retreat mode. He is in defense mode. Very scared right now because it's starting to fall apart for him. So here he goes. Here are receipts, he says, from 2022 to 2024 for nanards and bots. What's a nanard? Does anybody know what a nanard is? I've never heard this. I was an English major when I first started college. I've never heard of a nanard. Anybody want to help me out on that one? Is that him trying to be like a clever name for retards or something? Nanards. Here are the receipts for nanard. Anyway, by the way, anybody who's ever said this word, nanard, you're not cool. You don't have it going on, bro. If you have to say something like that, that's enough. Even if you weren't a fraud, you lost me at Nanard. Okay. You lost me there. But, here's the receipts, he says, and bots who claim I never post about Epstein. This is how bad it was. So in 2022, I told you guys, okay, he posted once about Epstein before Trump started running again. Here's the one post he put up about Epstein. Not a man to be trusted with your food supply or anything else for that matter. And unlike others, Mr. Gates started the relationship after Mr. Epstein was convicted of sex crimes. He's quoting a story. Do you hear anything about calling it out? We need justice for this. No, he's quoting a story about Bill Gates and Epstein. And that's it. In response to another post. Okay. Cool, Massie. Cool. How about the next one? Well, here's in 2024 when this is the first one, 2024. I demand the release of the Epstein client list. Now, here's what's interesting. Epstein caught in 2019. Died not long after. Ghislaine Maxwell indicted in 2020, caught in 2021. All this time they had investigations that could have been going on, the files. If you truly believe the victims needed justice, as Massie keeps claiming, why wait for so long? Why did it only matter here? Well, Emerald Robinson starts posting stuff and Thomas Massie replies to her and starts it. But look at the timing. February 10th, 24. You know what timing that is, guys? That's right as the Republican primaries start. That is when Trump is now officially running for president. It's about a month and a half before Super Tuesday. Now, Trump never debated. He barely campaigned because he was so far ahead. But isn't the timing interesting? Coinciding exactly when Trump is running. That's the first time Masshole here calls it out. And here's the next one. And this is June. Okay, this is I think this is right after the debate with Biden. So when Trump's at his strongest. Obviously, blackmail is a tool of statecraft. I just haven't seen it deployed against congressmen. I've seen them make bad votes for simple, stupid reasons. Really, Massie, you've never seen blackmail used against congressmen? Come on. Seems likely Epstein was involved with higher level espionage with business leaders in the executive branch. Interesting. Massie just says, I don't believe Epstein was ever involved with Congress, but only involved with business leaders in the executive branch. Who's business leaders in the executive branch? How about Donald J. Trump? Why is Massie only targeting those when we just saw that Epstein had several connections to congressmen? Interesting. Interesting how that all works out. Now, here's the best part about all this, guys. Those tweets, those are Massie, his own words on his receipts. So he literally just showed us that he never cared about the Epstein files until Trump was running for the second time, starts demanding them once the primaries start, and starts calling out the executive branch and business leaders for working with Epstein once Trump trumped Biden. Really interesting stuff. Those are his 3 tweets. Three tweets ever about Epstein. I spent 24 going back. This is the hero. This is the guy that cares so much about disclosure and the victims. Except you can perfectly time pretty much everything, especially when he got serious, to trying to use it to hurt Trump. Even his own words. Business leaders and real, isn't that interesting? Not celebrities? Huh? You don't think celebrities had anything to do with Epstein? Not Congress people who were meeting with him and partying with him? Really? Really, Massie? Only executive branch of business leaders? Huh? This is unbelievable what a fraud this guy is. I hope you guys all see it. By the way, I had somebody write me, and it was very nice of her. She had come on the other night, and she had called me a black pillar when I was saying the Steve Bannon stuff. And now it's Tammy, and after seeing my latest Bannon video, she's been awoken. And she apologized to me and said, I'm sorry, I see it now. And she's so anyways, guys, listen, the receipts are right here. Did anybody watch this show and still think Massie is legit? I just don't see it. Please, please, please. If anybody has any proof Thomas Massie is legit, I need to see it because I haven't seen a shred of evidence in weeks now, months even. So this guy is the worst. He's the worst. Here's a more Politico. I'm not a fan of Politico, but hey, if they're going to quote Massie, how about this? When was the last time you talked to Speaker Johnson about the Epstein matter at all? This is Massie's own quotes interview. One day they needed my vote, and I offered to give them my vote if he would issue a press release thanking me for my good work on the Epstein Files Transparency Act. That's all I required to get my vote. And I think he probably went and gave somebody else a bill to pass instead of doing the public statement. So is your vote for sale, Thomas? I don't think this is the principled quote you think it is. You just told us your vote's for sale. I think that's pretty interesting. Doesn't a man of principle just vote yes or no based on if something is good or bad? I mean, who still believes in this guy? I'll tell you who. All the fake influencers, the libertards, all the people who are invested in Trump failing. I'll tell you. David says maybe Massie turned to dark Massie after his wife died. No, he was already going against Trump. He already had supported McCarthy. He already had voted for Biden's bill to pass with the budget bill. He already had done all that before his wife died. No, his wife died is just another interesting kind of weird part of the saga, but he'd already gone dark before that. He was never good. He's always been this guy. Never forget, Thomas Massie openly supported holding Trump accountable during the judicial witch hunt against POTUS. Let's go back. Let's go back in time, shall we? January 2024. Actually, this is the 21st of January 24th. So 2 weeks before he called for the Epstein files. Thomas Massie. This summer, Trump's indictments are going to ripen into convictions. Yeah, this guy thought Trump was going bye-bye and was pushing that narrative. Here's an interesting reminder. Thomas Massie, a surrogate for Governor Ron DeSantis. I'll let that one sit for a second there. Remember I called out DeSantis all during the election? How Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell had gone to him and basically begged him to run against Trump, and he accepted. He accepted becoming part of the Republican, the rhino machine. I'm not saying DeSantis hasn't been a great governor, and maybe, just maybe, he's been awoken back to the MAGA guy I think he could be. Marco Rubio used to be a neocon and is no longer. Trump changed him. I'm not saying DeSantis is irredeemable, but it is a good reminder of where we're at. Thomas Massie said on this week's broadcast of Fox News Sunday, former President Donald Trump's multiple indictments would ripen into convictions. Massie said, the main thing I hear from people back home is they're mad nobody's held accountable in Washington. I think we need to hold Trump accountable. Really? After he shut down our country, hasn't held anybody at the FDA or CDC, so let's hold that guy accountable. Do it through getting it into convictions? Really, Massie? What about saying it coming out and saying that, hey, that these indictments against him are fraudulent, that they're made up, that they're a political witch hunt? Why wouldn't you say something like that, Thomas Massie, when everybody knew it? Instead, you're saying they're going to ripen into convictions and we need to hold this guy accountable. Thomas Massie has always hated Donald Trump. Why? Who hates Donald Trump? I'm not talking about regular people who might not like his personality, who don't know him, who barely pay attention. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who work with Donald Trump in politics who hates him. Only the opposition. That's it. Only the deep staters. Only the Democrats or the rhinos, the people the unipartiers. That's it. There is no other exceptions. Everyone else, he's the only one who gets stuff done. So they love him. They fall in line. Massie has always hated Trump, even when Trump had no power at the time. That, my friends, is all you need to know. So Massie, thank you for the receipts, because they're a great reminder. These receipts aren't that you care about Epstein. They're the receipts that remind us that you've always hated Trump and you've always sought to undermine him at every opportunity. And you don't care about the victims. Not one damn about them. That's what this reminds me. So thank you for that, Thomas Massie. I appreciate you reminding us. Jesus Save says DeSantis is boarding the Trump train, golfing with POTUS. You know, I will tell you that DeSantis has been excellent since the election ended, since Trump beat his booty in the primaries and sent him back down to the minor leagues and said, bro, you ain't going to mess with me. Since DeSantis has embraced and learned his lesson, he has fallen in line. And it's been great to watch. Now, I hope it stays that way. He was golfing with Trump, but so does Lindsey Graham, and we don't trust Lindsey Graham. So golfing with Trump doesn't necessarily mean anything, but we can hope. And there is some chatter a little bit of chatter here and there, that after the election in Florida, because DeSantis' term ends this fall. He's done ski. There's going to be a new governor in Florida, hopefully Byron Donalds, out of who's running. And DeSantis will be gone next year. And there's chatter that he might join the Trump administration. We can hope. We can hope.